Welcome back, everybody. 13 after the hour. Time for us to go behind the headlines. And, of course, this weekend we are headed to 420, the 420 weekend in post-legalized USA. Most specifically, the news is pointing to Denver, Colorado, where, of course, Amendment 64 has made the possession of an ounce of marijuana and the gifting of up to an ounce of marijuana between adults perfectly legal. And we are going to take full advantage of that at the High Times Cannabis Cup this weekend. Let me tell you, it's going to be a lot of fun. Before we get into it, just for those of you who might be new to the scene or don't know what 420 is all about, it has some other, let's say, infamous anniversaries attached to it. It's Hitler's birthday. 420 is. It's also the anniversary of the Columbine shootings, the Columbine massacre. So we try not to associate it with that. We decided to take 420 for our own. The code of 420, there's a lot of urban myths about what it stands for. Some people think it means that that's the code for the LAPD for a pot smoking in progress. That's not true at all. Most people have come to agree on is that 420 originated with a group called the Waldos, which was a high school group, informal kind of group of friends that called themselves the Waldos, who went to school in San Rafael, California, and would meet at a particular statue after their extracurricular activities. And it just so happened that, by the time they got out of school, like 3 o'clock, 3:30, whatever it was, by the time extracurriculars were over, you'd end up at the statue at about 20 after 4, about 4:20. And that soon became a code amongst the Waldos themselves to say, hey, I'll see you at 4:20, or see you around 4:20. And the way the story goes is it's related to me by, I believe it was Steve Hager and Steve Bloom, who've uncovered most of this, is that one of the Waldos ended up being a roadie for the Grateful Dead, ended up on the Grateful Dead tours, and kind of passed that knowledge of 420 around, and from there, kind of spread like wildfire. Regardless of how it came about, 420 is now firmly ensconced in the American consciousness as the pot smoking holiday. I like to call it Marijuana Liberation Day myself. This is the day we all celebrate fighting for our freedoms. And that's what I think, rather than just being an excuse to get high. And that's, I think, the way the media likes to portray it, is that everybody's, celebrating an excuse to get high. We're smoking already. We're already getting high the other 364 days. No, 420 is about celebrating our fight for freedom and celebrating our community and our spirit and who we are as a people. Now, there's a bunch of stuff going on. The Denver Civic Center will be Civic Center Park will be the place to be if you can't get into the High Times Cannabis Cup. That's where they have their annual 420 rally. There'll be about an estimated 50,000 people at that rally. I've never actually been to the Denver 420 rally because every time I'm in Denver for 420, I'm at a gig. One year it was the normal conference. Another year it was the Cannabis Cup. Medical Cannabis Cup. So I'll be encouraged to see photos and reporting from that event. Maybe we'll send some of our volunteers out there to get some photos for us. So you can check that out, the Denver 420 Civic Center. And I understand this year they're going to do it both weekends. Both days of the weekend, so Saturday and Sunday. They're going to expand it. So that will be very interesting to see how many people show up on the Sunday as well. And there is talk of so many people coming into town, of this being a huge tourist weekend in Denver, Colorado. Our friend and colleague, Sharon Raver, the Georgia Mom for Marijuana, when she was booking her tickets, she said there's usually like 4 planes that fly from Atlanta to Denver on any given day. And this time there's like 14 that are flying out of the Atlanta airport to Denver. So it'll be interesting to see if we get a lot of delays of flights coming into Denver. Picking up on the tourist angle is a fellow who has put together what are called My 420 Tours. And he's, taking this tourist angle and really running with it, because the guy is charging $499 per person. And that doesn't include the hotel or the airfare to get you there. That's just $499. Not including hotel or airfare for his tour, which sends people, picks people up in the limo, right? First, the limo picks you up at the airport, takes you to the Cannabis Cup. So I imagine the tour also comes with a Cannabis Cup ticket and other Denver area marijuana celebrations, and then deposits them at the end of the tour at a hotel where smoking is permitted on your patio at your room. So $499 per person. There's other tours if you want to add extra days This guy will extend it to 5 days, and the 5-day tours are from $649 to $849, and that includes touring a medical marijuana dispensary, touring a commercial grow, and a possible cannabis cooking class. And you know that other states have to be seeing this. Other tourism organizations have, I can't imagine when somebody is trying to book a trip to go skiing, and their choices are the wonderful ski resorts in Utah and the wonderful ski resorts in Colorado, and the ones in Colorado will let you smoke weed. I think that's going to make a huge difference in a lot of people's ski plans. We also have, of course, the High Times Cannabis Cup, which added on tomorrow, April 19th, a party featuring Snoop Lion, where he will be getting a Lifetime Achievement Award from High Times Magazine. Our own Bago Schwago will be going to that Snoop Lion party, and we'll see if he can get some photos for us for reporting. And Bago Schwago, if you got a camera, like a video camera, get some film as well. That would be very, very good for the show. Cypress Hill and Slightly Stoopid are playing at Red Rocks, just west of Denver. That's all sold out. If you haven't got tickets yet, you're not going to make it to that. A few dozen miles northwest of Denver, UC Boulder, which was known as being the pot party capital, it was named in Playboy magazine in 2011. They draw like an estimated 10,000 people to their 420 celebration back in 2010. But last year, the college shut down the campus, spread all this fish fertilizer stuff all on the lawn to try to get people not to show up. They say they're going to be doing that again this year. So I don't know about UC Boulder, or CU Boulder, excuse me. And then finally, 420 in Washington, not as big a deal just because Seattle has Seattle Hemp Fest, and that will be a huge deal this year. But Dope Magazine is expecting about 1,500 people for the Dope Cup, where they're going to have music, dancing, and a bar. They'll also have a smoking tent outside and food trucks. So check that out if you're in Seattle. Sure enough, there's got to be something 420 going on somewhere near where you're at. Even if that just means getting together with your friends and celebrating, do it. It means something for us to gather together and celebrate this. It really does.
Or have you?
Speaking of celebrating,